favorite video game character is MegaMan. Growing up, it was one of my favorite games to play. Back then, I only played Mega Man 2 through 8, and I could never find a copy of the original Mega Man. About a year after Mega Man 8 came out, I went to an old video game store to pick up Super Mario World to give to my older brother as a moving out gift, when I found an old copy of the first Mega Man game with a rather unappealing cover art torn off and leaving bits and pieces of leftover sticker, and Mega Man 1 written on it in black marker. I had never played the original Mega Man before, so I decided to buy it. I went to the checkout to buy the two games. I asked the clerk what happened to the Mega Man game's cover, and he told me that it was sold to him like that, and the previous owner, who was about 8, wanted to sell that game right away. I asked him if he knows why, and he told me that all the kid said was, "Yellow Devil," and that the boy had a very scared look on his face and wouldn't look at the clerk because all the kid could see was the red eye. The clerk then proceeded to tell me that he had gotten a newspaper that said that the kid had been driven to insanity and landed into the insane asylum about a week after he sold the game, and that he's had the game for about a year or so. The kid kept hearing some noises that hurt his ears, and he kept seeing things, like an eye that will watch him wherever he went. A little puzzled by the story, I thanked the clerk and left, eager to try the game out. The whole time I was driving home, I was wondering about the boy who went insane. Could it possibly be because of this game? No, it couldn't. Besides, it is Mega Man we're talking about. How bad could it be? I went home and popped the game into my NES and was greeted with a title screen. I pressed start, and instantly there was a loud screeching sound coming from the game, with a picture of a red eye appearing shortly afterward, lasting about a split second. I was then greeted by the stage select screen. I saw all 6 Robot Masters: Cutman, Gutsman, Iceman, Bombman, Fireman, and Electman. One thing I found odd was that the background was pitch black, and the names of the Robot Masters were missing, and the Robot Masters themselves had bright red eyes. My brother, who played the game before, told me that Cutman was the easiest boss, so I decided to follow his advice. I selected Cutman, but instead of displaying the Robot Master's name after selecting him, it said, "Leave now." The clear points display was left unaltered. I started the level, and it was just a straight path forward. No enemies, no bottomless pits, nothing. It played Cutman's theme, which sounded nice, but as Mega Man started walking to the right, the theme became more and more demonic, slowing down in tempo and lowering in pitch. At the end of the road was a boss door. I entered it, and there was Cutman. Before the fight started, Cutman said, "Mega Man, get out, or it will catch you and take you along with it." The battle started, and I fought Cutman. During the battle, giant yellow spheres started to appear on the screen. They weren't coming for Mega Man, they were aimed at Cutman. The spheres latched on and formed over Cutman, and he started screaming while the thing slowly killed him. After that, the screen went to black and showed a series of violent pictures of Cutman being suffocated, crushed, and torn apart by the yellow mass. All that was left of Cutman was his head and a couple of limbs, with blood all over the floor. The loud screeching noise from before showed up, and this time it lasted longer, and text showed up saying, "They will all die, and so will you. No one can escape the Yellow Devil." Yellow Devil? I started to remember what my brother said about it before. Yellow Devil was said to be the hardest boss in the game, a boss that would split into multiple parts and then would ram into Mega Man, causing a large amount of damage. He told me that he was a fat yellow blob with limbs that had a very creepy looking eye, an eye that was all black and had a red pupil. His description of the Yellow Devil reminded me of a similar boss from Mega Man 3 and Mega Man 8, but he never told me that something like this was in the game. I assumed that it was hacked at this point and found it kind of disturbing, but curiosity got the best of me, so I kept playing. I was sent back to the stage select screen to see that Dr. Wily's castle was now accessible, and that the rest of the Robot Masters were gone. I chose Wily's castle, and instead of displaying Wily's name, it just said, "You were warned. Now you will pay." After that, I was immediately transported there. I later learned that in the original game, Wily's name and the clear points display first appeared, then Wily would summon his flying saucer and fly off inside it, and the player would be teleported into the stage. Anyway, I entered the stage. The sky was blood red, and the castle was destroyed, covered in flames and blood. Mega Man slowly walked to the remains of the castle to find Wily, Dr. Light, Roll, and the other Robot Masters on the floor. They all seemed to be dead, as there was blood on the floor and on their lifeless bodies. I walked up to them, and then text from all the characters appeared saying, "Why didn't you save us? Turn back now. It's going to kill you. You cannot escape. The Red Eye. The Red Eye!" And as Mega Man continued to walk forward, the yellow spheres from before came out from behind him at an incredibly fast rate, and formed a giant yellow creature with a demonic red eye. All it said was, "I am the Yellow Devil. None can escape me." The creature was even more skinny than what my brother had described it to me, and it had long, stretchable arms and legs. At the center was its eye, its bright red, evil-looking eye. Blood poured from it and started to drip to the floor. It was just unsettling. The screeching noise immediately came back, only this time it was louder and lasted for the whole fight. The Yellow Devil stretched out its arms and threw Mega Man across the screen multiple times, draining my health until it was at 1 unit, and slowly disfiguring Mega Man with every throw. I couldn't react in time because he was so quick. Soon, the Yellow Devil then split into multiple forms, and came hurling at Mega Man at such an incredibly fast pace, I couldn't have Mega Man dodge them. And with each part that hit Mega Man, he became slower and slower and couldn't jump. It got to the point where Mega Man couldn't move, and he was basically swallowed whole by the Yellow Devil. The screeching noise got even louder as the giant yellow blob spat Mega Man out, and revealed a mangled, ripped apart, blood-drenched corpse. The screen went black, and all that was shown was the corpse of Mega Man and a red eye forming behind it. The screeching noise got even louder and more high-pitched as text appeared saying, "They are all dead. Now you're next." Then the words, "No one can escape the Yellow Devil," kept forming on the screen, the text getting bigger and the screech getting louder and higher pitched. And soon after, the red eye appeared again, with the screech reaching its maximum pitch and volume, piercing through my ears, literally making them bleed. I quickly shut off the game and took it out of the console. I was really creeped out by the game and felt the urge to get rid of it by any means, even if it meant destroying it. I got a hammer from my garage and proceeded to violently smash the game into bits and then threw the remains into my garbage can. I don't know what came over me. It was just a game, and from the looks of it, it was just hacked. My older brother soon came home afterwards, and he asked me what was up. I told him what had happened, and I explained what I had witnessed. He didn't seem to believe me at first, but he soon gave in, stating that he had never seen me this freaked out before. He then patted me on the back and asked if I wanted to come by his new house to hang out and watch some TV. I agreed and gave him the Super Mario World gift that I mentioned before, and we drove to his house. We talked about the game for a bit, believing that it was hacked and that the kid who went insane probably had other mental problems and issues to deal with. We watched The Simpsons for the rest of the night, and I fell asleep after a while. I dreamt that I was walking to my house in the middle of the night. I soon went up to my driveway when all of a sudden my stomach started to hurt. It started to get worse, and soon I was vomiting and coughing out blood and this yellow substance. I continued this non-stop until the yellow substance formed into the Yellow Devil. I then proceeded to run, but it grabbed me and threw me into my house door and then to the concrete pavement, feeling broken and in so much pain. I tried to run away, but the Yellow Devil split into multiple pieces and proceeded to violently latch onto me until I was immobilized. I couldn't move, I couldn't yell for help because my mouth was covered up by the Yellow Devil. I was helpless. It then swallowed me whole, and all I could hear was my agonizing screams and a loud screeching sound. I felt my bones being crushed and my skin being torn apart as it violently ripped off my limbs. Every time I opened my mouth to scream, nothing came out. I struggled to escape, but it was no use. I just waited until it suffocated me. The last thing I heard was, "You thought you could escape me, but you were wrong. No one can escape the Yellow Devil." It kept repeating, "No one can escape the Yellow Devil," over and over again, getting louder and louder along with the screeching sound as I slowly suffocated. After that, I could see my mangled, lifeless corpse lying on the ground, with the red eye behind it, just like when I saw Mega Man die. I quickly wake up to see my brother making breakfast, and I proceed to tell him about my dream. He tells me to calm down and told me to eat. I was calm for the rest of the day, but that night, and every night after that, I had the same dream. This dream kept getting more violent and intense, with the screech sounding louder and louder, the eye appearing over and over again, my corpse being torn apart, people I cared about being violently gored before my eyes, and soon I kept hearing the screeching sound in my head, and I became delirious. I kept on seeing the red eye wherever I went. The screeching noise kept ringing in my head. It never stopped. I couldn't think straight. I couldn't eat. I refused to sleep to avoid the dream. I just fell apart. My brother finally took me to see some help after about a week, and even after all the treatment, it didn't help. I still had the nightmares. I still heard the sounds. I still saw the red eye. After about a month and a half of seeing my psychiatrist, though, I slowly became better. I had my moments here and there, but I recovered, for the most part. To think that a game had this much impact on me. To think that it drove me to near insanity. As of now, I am almost fully recovered. I have the dream much less frequently, if not ever. I still sometimes hear the screeching sound, but it's very faint. The only thing that still occurs frequently is the red eye. It doesn't bother me as much now, but I can't stand to look at it after a while, watching me. And it didn't help knowing that Capcom's recent Mega Man 9 and 10 had their own unique versions of the Yellow Devil. You know, looking back on it now, I guess what the game said was true. No one can escape the Yellow Devil.